Okay, let's start. Okay, let's check it. Luis is there. Mio is here. I see. Never comes. Okay, Jungle is here. Did you cut your hair? Did you cut your hair? Oh, okay. That looks better. Okay, Robin, good. Natalia, yes. Claude is here. Okay, and Shaliko is here. Okay, Leo. Okay, Johnny, good. And Mandy. Mandy? Late. Okay. Let's see. Leila. Yes. Good. Okay, Doris. Doris is here. Easy here. Cynthia, good. Brina, good. Okay, good. Let's start with something. Good. And Leila? Leila. Yes. Yes. Okay. And what did we learn last class?
We learned about how it will influence the world and economics after Trump was elected.
Yes, we talked about the Trump. Yeah, but however, that's not our content. Okay, so whatever. We can treat that as that kinds of the political problem or the political changes as an external factor. And we must consider that external factor to address that the problem solving. Okay, that's one of very critical external factor. Okay, so we must consider that. Good. And E, anything else? We learned about the theory, something. Theory. Google is what? Yes. 1 day week off, 1 day off, 5 days. Okay, so we call that a 20% of rule. 20% of rule, and that drives a very innovative product development and the realization of the innovative ideas in Google. Okay, but however, when we replicate that Google HR practice in another company like Yahoo, is it work? No. Why not? Why we cannot replicate that kinds of the very innovative idea that drives the innovation? Why we can't? Huh?
To use the personal purpose to invite something new, like Android systems.
Yes. But however, even though Yahoo replicate that practice to innovate, to make an innovation and to encourage people to drive innovation, but however, the Yahoo cannot do that. And then Google can do that, but Yahoo cannot do that. And you know that Google and Yahoo is a software companies. That's very little differences. Why? What make a difference? Why Google can do that, but the others cannot do that?
Because of the disruptive innovation.
No, that's not a cause. Okay, so just user sense. Okay, you know that there is a very good idea, there is a very good managerial practice. And then that really helps the people to work by themselves and that they can drive the innovation. Wow, that's good. And I just simply replicate that practice. So I want to let our people to take off their work 1 day out of 5 days. But however, that doesn't work in my company. Why? What is the problem? What would be the problem? Okay, so.
Maybe because Yahoo didn't offer enough freedom.
Yes, that's one thing. Okay, return back to the basic. Return back to the basic. And then this kind of things is working in Google or certain companies, but however, the others cannot replicate that. Okay? And then we call these kind of things as competitive advantage. And anybody may think that the competitive advantage is just for the price or the value or something. Okay, but however, the real competitive advantage comes from human side. Human side. Okay, so let's go back to the basic of the basic. Sun Tzu's art of war. What are 5 competitive advantages that were identified by the Sun Tzu? 天, 地, Okay, so this kind of things has a unique value, unique competitive advantage to make an innovation. Okay, that's not just money. That's not just for money. Is there any money side, resource side in these 5 elements of the Tower of the art of war? No. Principle exercised by the human. Tian, rules, or the environment, that can be interpreted by human. The earth, that can be interpreted or utilized by the human. General or leadership, that's the human side. Who make an exercise of the rules? Human. Okay? So, these kind of things, real competitive advantage usually come from human side. Okay, we will see. We will see more about that. Okay, how the Apple was become a very great company. Okay, we will see. Good. And anything else, Cloris? Anything else we learned? We learned a very important theory and the innovation model. Yeah, that's something. Okay. Brina, what we learned the theory and model. What kinds of model? The
horizontal lines time and the
Okay.
lines perform.
Okay, so that's horizontal line is time, and this is performance. Okay, good. Then
And
go up line. Okay, good. And then this is a customer demand. This is customer demand, the range. Okay, and then there is the sustaining strategy, sustaining innovation, and another disruptive innovation. Yeah. Okay, that's a disruptive innovation model. Okay, good. And okay, Johnny. Okay, can you elaborate that disruptive innovation? What is this? What is that? What is that? Okay, so I will start. Yeah, this is a range of the customer demand. Okay, so if the player or the company comes into range, okay, that means that they can sell. They can sell their product. Okay, and then who make this a sustaining innovation? Who can make this a sustaining innovation? Big company or a small company? Big company, yes. Big players make a sustaining innovation. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay? Because they have enough resources. They can make a step-by-step innovation. Okay? Good, good, good. That's good. That's good. But however, many big players are disrupted. Disrupted by these players. Okay, good. Where is Robin? Okay. So who is the disruptive innovation maker? Big company or small company? Small company, yes. Okay? By using what? How? How they make a disruption? Okay, so maybe I can give an example. The big players, big companies, they have enough resources and they invest a lot of money and they invest a lot of people to meet the demand. Okay, for example, the Sony was the largest company in the world, but however, the Sony becomes disrupted, and then Sony make a lot of effort to make an incremental innovation. Okay, step by step. Suddenly, somebody comes, and small company like a Foxconn or Samsung comes, and then they disrupt it, and they beat them out. How? How? We learned about that. Okay? This is a low quality product demand. And this is high-tech demand. Okay? They comes outside of the demand and they comes here. How they can catch up? Yeah, for example, Xiaomi is now disrupting the mobile industry. How? Why a lot of people buy the Xiaomi phone or the Huawei phone? Low price. Yeah. Low price with acceptable quality. Yes. And then we call this strategy is focus on value. Focus on value. Okay? So disruptors or the small players, they don't have enough money or enough people to make innovation, real innovation, but they just undermine the customer demands who requires or who need a acceptable quality but low price. And they undermine. And then they quickly catch up. They quickly catch up the incumbent players. Okay? That's the mechanism of the disruptive innovation. And then nowadays, the Chinese players, middle of nowhere, and nobody know who will win. And however, many Chinese players comes into the market. And then they are now disrupting a lot of incumbent players. Huawei, Xiaomi, and I expect that another electric car companies will come soon. Electric car companies will come soon. Okay? And however, the GM, Chrysler, or the Hyundai, or Toyota, BMW, they have no idea who will come. They just make an incremental innovation. Toyota, Hyundai, or the BMW, Benz is now coming. But someday, sooner or later, that's not emerged, but however, someday, sooner or later, another player, the Chinese electric car companies will come, and then they will come to the low-end market, okay? The market, and then they will penetrate this market, and they will dominate this market. And then they will disrupt the whole industry, the automotive market. That's the disruptive innovation. That's the disruptive innovation. Okay? So, please, turn on your radar. Turn turn on your radar. Who is coming? Who will come? Turn on your radar. Okay? And then another very important implication for the disruptive innovation is, okay, you don't need to dependent on a lot of money or resources. All you need is focus. Okay? Focus. Don't complain about you don't have enough money, you don't have enough people. But please think about, can you focus? Can you focus on the customer value or not? Okay, good. Okay, good. Why this is not working? Okay, good. So we learned about the disruptive innovation like this. Okay, and then innovator's dilemma that was introduced by the Clayton Christensen throughout the observing the hard disk drive, the industry. And then, yeah, he observed that the innovation is deviated from the customer need, customer demands. Okay, good. And then the disruptive innovation, and there is a disruptor, and the low end players will disrupt the whole market throughout their focused on customer value. Okay, that's a disruptive innovation model. Good. So far, so good. So we learned about the 7 innovation models. Okay, so do you remember the 7 innovation models? Something? Serendipity model, linear model, and then the simultaneous coupling model, architectural innovation model, intellective model, and the life cycle and the dominant design model, and the open innovation model, and the disruptive innovation model. Okay, good. So far, so good. And then, okay, so we learned about that. And then this is a complicated and combined the holistic model of the innovation. Okay? There is a technology research, scientific exploration, the market transition, product creation, and then that build the entrepreneurship, and then that make an innovation. Okay? And then propose this the complicated model, and that occurs, the innovation occurs in simultaneous way. Good. And however, that innovation can be disrupted by another players who are excellent in here. Good. And however, it's too complicated for me. That's not easy to understand. Okay, so then I propose this. This is my innovation model, the candle model. Okay? And the candle, it can be, this is a flame of the innovation, and the flame is that the innovation outcome. Okay? And there is an input of the innovation, the outside input and the inside input, and there is a driver of the innovation. And however, entrepreneurs or the innovation leadership, including the entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, extrapreneurs, and the government agent, okay, and those kind of the innovation leadership take an action to lighten up the frame. Okay, then once we can lighten up the frame, we can make an outcome like a better economic value, and then the corporate culture or patent or the intellectual property and the missions, something like that. Okay? So one of the most important things in making an innovation is, that's you. That's you. Yeah, because for example, Donald Trump become a president of the United States. Okay, so something is coming. Something is changing, external. Okay, and somebody left your company. Inside changes. Okay, so changes occurs every time. Changes occurs every moment. Okay, whatever. You must react. you must react. That depends on your hands. That depends on your hands. Okay? People make a innovation. People can kill the innovation. Not money. Okay? People can elaborate the innovation and people can kill the innovation. Okay, let's see an example. Let's see an example. Okay, good. Here is a case of the apple. Here's a case of the apple. Okay, so everybody agree that the Apple is one of the innovative company?
Yes.
Okay, good. And then do you know who established that Apple? 1975. Who established that Apple? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs and another Steve. Steve. Another Steve. There is another Steve. He was an engineer. Steve Wozniak. Something. Yeah, Steve Wozniak. And Steve Jobs was a jobless. He was nothing. And however, the Steve Wozniak was an HP engineer. And he graduated Stanford University with electric engineering. He was a PhD. Okay, so Steve Wozniak is a genius, and he can build that machines by himself. Okay, good. And yeah, so those two guys, the combination of the one business person and another engineer, they established the Apple in a garage. Small garage. Okay, whatever. That was the start of the Apple in 1975. And the first product comes on 1978. We call that the Apple I. That's the first personal computer in the world, 1978. And however, they just built the Apple I computer around 12. Just 12. And then we treat that as a sample. Okay, and 1982, Apple II made a great success. Apple II made a great success. That's 1982. 1982, good. And they boost up. Apple II made a great success, and then they made a great success of the only Mac series. Only Mac series, yeah. Good. And until the 1988, almost that Apple enjoyed the local monopoly. Yes, local monopoly. Because there was no personal computer the producer in the world at the time. They exercised the local monopoly. Good. So they make a lot of money. And then everybody wants to get a Mac. Good. They made a great success. And however, a disruptor comes. Microsoft. Bill Gates. Bill Gates comes and then he suggests that the Microsoft OS DOS, MS-DOS, with free. No money, with free. MS-DOS was free. Okay, and then that undermines the computer industry. Okay, and then the Microsoft and Intel made a good partnership, and then they tried to make it better. Okay, and then those two, we call that as a Wintel, whatever. And then the Microsoft developed the Windows on 1988, but however, the Windows 3.1 is getting more popular on the 1992 or 3. Okay, and from that time, the Apple's sales dramatically reduced. So the personal computer, you have two options. One is very expensive Mac. However, you have alternative. yeah, this Microsoft personal computer, Intel based. Why not? So, yeah, just buy the Microsoft, yeah, Intel based, the personal computer, and that's enough. That's just a hard price. Okay, they lost their market share. That gets down, that gets down, that gets down, that gets down. And still, the Microsoft, the Apple refused to license its operating system. Okay, OS X. They refused. No, this is mine. Nobody can touch mine. This is my intellectual property. Nobody can touch this. And still that policy is going on. Okay, whatever. And then that's getting down more, that's getting down more. Okay, and then 1993 or 4, and this time, okay, in launch of the Newton, and then maybe nobody knows that the Newton or the next something, and nobody can remember that, but however, because that was totally failure. And then Steve Jobs was expelled. He was fired. He was fired. He was fired by his company. He was fired, even though he established that company, but he was fired. Good. And then, yeah, at that time, when he was fired from the Apple, the Steve Jobs established a few number of the small companies. So like maybe you know one company. Do you know? Have you ever heard about the Pixar? Pixar Animation. Pixar, yeah, Pixar Animation. Pixar Animation, and then one of the most popular one is Shrek. Shrek, do you know the Shrek? Shrek. Yes, Green Monster, Shrek, and that looks like me. Yeah, Shrek. Shrek. And yeah, still we have a lot of the Pixar Animation, and then. Yeah, joining with Steven Spielberg, the Steven Spielberg and the Steve Jobs established that Pixar Animation at that time when he was fired by the Apple, and he established a few number of the enterprises. But however, Pixar is most popular. Okay, however, he was outside of the company for a while, and then Apple get worse. And 1998, yeah, somewhere around here, after 6 or 7 years later, okay, and Apple invited Steve Jobs again. Yeah, you must come back, you must come home, this is your company, and please let us survive. It happens. It happens many times. It happens many times. Okay? So, yeah, just to see this. Competitive advantage. Steve Jobs is the real competitive advantage of an Apple. Let's see what happened after Steve Jobs returning to Apple. Okay, here. Yeah, he launched the iMac something. Okay, and that's a start of the revitalizing of the Apple iMac. Good. And however, I don't care about this. But however, what is the first thing that the Steve Jobs did when he returned back to the Apple? Can you guess? What is his first work when he returned back to Apple? Launch Apple? iPod? No. That takes 5 years. After 5 years. After 5 years. What he did at this time? Return back to basic. Return back to basic. Return back to basic. Because at that time, Apple has a lot of the product line. Okay, there is a Mac series, there is the iMac series, and there is another, the peripheral series. peripherals, and there is the game player, game console, and there is a printer, and there was a server, and there was something else. They have a different kind of the product line. Yeah, because that's a diversification strategy. Wow, that's good. That's normal. But however, as soon as Steve Jobs comes back to the Apple, what he did kill everything. He killed everything. Really? Uh-oh. Do you remember what is the Schumpeter's notion about the innovation? Creative destruction. He destructed everything. Get out! Really? So he started with nothing. And then the first product from nothing is iMac. Not Mac, iMac. Totally new design. That's a totally new design. That's quite slender and that's quite a futuristic design. That's the start of the iMac. And then he sold out all the another divisions, product divisions or the business divisions. And he started with this. Okay, good. And he started another product line. What is that? iPod. Okay? iPod, at that time, there are a lot of the MP3 player producers in the world. And at that time, the dominating MP3 player was Korean players. Go on. Yeah, there's a Go-on audio. There's a Go-on, yeah. Go-on audio. Go-on audio. You don't remember. Go-on audio. And their design was like this, MP3 player. And that was dominating player of the MP3 player at that time. Okay, however, many people argue about it though. Okay, this is just a tiny minor something. That's nothing. Why do we invest a lot of our resources to develop this kind of iPod? Okay, but the real big thing comes from not hardware, but software. Plus iTunes. While anybody just download the MP3, okay, from nowhere, a lot of the intellectual property violation, illegal download or something, and Napsters, okay. But however, Apple made a legal ecosystem. And that's a win-win, both of the producer, who create the music, okay? And they got a lot of the license from the Apple. And however, we just pay a little money. The $10 for the 10 musics, that's okay. And then we don't need to be guilty. So he established this software power, combining with slicking iPod. That's a combination of something. And then they made an innovation of ecosystem. We call that an industrial ecosystem. That's quite an innovative idea. Nobody think about this. They just think about the machines or product itself, but Apple, Steve Jobs, considers software. Then they turn around They turn around, and that evolved to iPhone. When? 2007. Okay? And that passed more than 7 years. What is now happening? Apple is one of the largest company in the world. That must be here. That must be here. More than. And that becomes more than 100 times after the Steve Jobs rejoining the Apple. 100 more times. It happens. It happens. Okay? So we can call the Steve Jobs is the where competitive advantage. Just one leader change, totally innovate a company, and that company innovate all industry. Haha. Good. Just one. That's a people. That's a person. That's a human side, not money. Then, okay, let's see here how the Steve Jobs make a competitive advantage in Apple. Let's see what he's talking. Okay, here we go. Yep, good. I do that.
Keys to Apple is Apple's an incredibly collaborative company. And
Let's start again.
keys to Apple is Apple's an incredibly collaborative company. And so, you know how many committees we have at Apple?
No,
0. We have no committees.
no committee.
We are organized like a startup. One person's in charge of iPhone OS software. One person's in charge of Mac hardware. One person's in charge of iPhone hardware engineering. Another person's in charge of worldwide marketing. Another person's in charge of operations. We're organized like a startup. We're the biggest startup on the planet. And we all meet for 3 hours once a week, and we talk about everything we're doing, the whole business. And there's tremendous teamwork at the top of the company, which filters down to tremendous teamwork throughout the company. And teamwork is dependent on trusting the other folks to come through with their part without watching them all the time, but trusting that they're going to come through with their parts. And that's what we do really well. And we're great at figuring out how to divide things up into these great teams that we have and all work on the same thing, touch bases frequently, and bring it all together into a product. We do that really well. And so what I do all day is meet with teams of people and work on ideas and solve problems to make new products, to make new marketing programs, whatever it is.
And are people willing to tell you you're wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, other than snarky journalists. I mean, people that work
Oh, yeah. No, we have wonderful arguments.
And do you win them all? Or?
Oh, no, I wish I did. Oh, see, you can't. If you want to hire great people and have them stay working for you, you have to let them make a lot of decisions, and you have to be run by ideas, not hierarchy. The best ideas have to win.
So,
otherwise, good people don't stay.
But you must be more than a facilitator who runs meetings. You obviously contribute your own ideas.
I contribute ideas, sure. Well, why would I be there if I didn't?
Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay, so what does Steve Jobs talk about his managing people treat the people inside of the Apple. Yes. Collaborative. How? How he makes their employees to more collaborative. No committee, yes. But however, no committee means that there's a last chance to talk with each other. The committee is like a meeting, the business meeting. So when you have to talk or when you have to decide something. So for example, on our campus, we must talk with Dr. Hankey, CJ, me, and another. So we make a meeting. But however, in the Apple, there is no that kind of business meeting. How does Steve Jobs elaborate the people, contact more, and talk more? How? Yes. But however, can you laugh for something in here? Let the people make a decision. Okay. How? There are a lot of critiques, but however, Luis, if you are Apple, if you are a Steve Jobs, okay, if you are a Steve Jobs, and how you can elaborate the people to talk more and make their decision up by themselves, how to make them work by themselves. How? If you are Steve Jobs, if you take over the very problematic company, yes. How?
Made a decision by themselves.
Yes, how?
Give them power.
Give them a power. Okay, we call that empowerment. Empowerment, but how? How empower the people? How to empower the people to make their own decision? Not waiting for the order from the tops.
Allow them to make the final decision.
Yes, how? Okay, so can you go back to these five principles? Okay, 5 competitive advantage. Okay, so can you identify how the Steve Jobs exercise something to make the company turn around? No comment? No comment? No comment? No comment? No command. Okay. Don't push down? No, I don't think so. The Steve Jobs is one of the biggest pusher. Work hard. Yeah. He was crazy. Yeah. He push hard. He command a lot. He push a lot. He's one of the worst employer in the world. He's asshole. Okay, good. So this is my personal opinion, but however, he set up this. That is, idea must win, not hierarchy. A good idea must win within an Apple, no matter what. Even the Steve Jobs, if there is any better idea, he accepts. He never get down a good idea by himself. If there is a better idea than him, than his idea, he accept and go. He made that principle, that rule within the Apple. Okay? Good, good, good. Idea must win and our hierarchy. Okay, good. And I want to introduce another very similar concept to make an innovation, and that was popular in McKinsey Consulting, and then we call that rule is obligation to dissent. Obligation to dissent. Obligation to dissent. And what's the meaning of the obligation? Shall it go? Obligation to dissent. Yeah, I expect better English language skills from you. English majors, yeah. Obligation to dissent. Actually, that is not English itself, but there's a business principle, obligation to dissent. Yes, a disagreement. That's all around, yeah, obligation to dissent. Yeah, this is almost as a disagreement. Okay, and this? Yeah, somewhat. Responsible, obligation, you must. Okay? And then you must disagree with something. Disagree with something. Okay? For example, okay. Yeah, here is a Steve Jobs, CEO. Okay, and there is a CFO, CHO, or the CEO or somebody. And this is E-level executives. Okay, and then under here, there is a managers, high-rank managers. Good, good, good. Okay, and there is a frontline managers. Good, good, good. And here is the employee section managers. And here is something. Here you are. This is me. This is me. Okay, good. So, I have a great idea to solve a business problem. You have a great idea. Oh, yeah. You have a great idea. Okay, then, how you can exercise and how you can realize your great idea in a company. Doris? Doris? Yep. Yeah, you already learned that, how you can do that in the classroom. So you set up something. The first round of our classes, we learned what? Business problem solving tools, okay? Okay, good. Okay, so what is our product of the business problem solving tools? Yeah, first page. What is the first page of the business problem solving tools? Huh? Define a problem? No, before that. Okay, it's the cover. What is the cover? So we will do that later. Okay, what is the cover? What is the cover page of that tools? No. Yeah, that's one. Yeah. We call that is proposal. How many pages?
1 page.
Yes, we just need a 1-page proposal. Okay? You set up the 1-page proposal and then business problem solving the tools. Okay, so you just need to make a 1-page proposal and prepare this, only 1 page. And then if you have any chance to talk about your idea with your manager or the hierarchy or the CEO, executive or whatever, okay, just prepare 1 page of the proposal. And then, if you have a chance, wait a minute. Yeah, I have a great idea. 3 minutes. Get down. Okay? In many cases, if you bring your idea to the manager or the executive or the CEO, even though you have a chance to talk, what is the reaction of these people? Who are you? Get out of here. Yeah. That's quite popular. That's the dominating organizational culture in a large company because of hierarchy. Because of hierarchy. CEO top, executive, manager, section manager, your manager, frontline manager, and you. Hierarchy, okay? So, the Steve Jobs crashed this hierarchy. How? He built a startup culture. Okay? Startup culture. What is the characteristics of the startup culture? What is the characteristic of the startup? Small startup, newly starting business. Pardon? No. If you start your own business, what will it look like? Do you have enough? Do you have a lot of numbers? No. How many numbers? Maybe. Yeah, 5 or 7, no more than 7. This team. This is a startup company. And this is another startup company. No more than. So if you have only 7 members, what can you do? How you can make a decision? Just talk and listen. Because there is no hierarchy. You don't need a hierarchy. Okay? So he separate no committee. Okay? And then he separate each divisions. For example, there is a division like iTunes. iTunes played like an independent startup company, only run by less than 20%. iTunes and iPhone. Do you think that how many people are working for the iPhone design? More than 1,000? The key designer of the Apple iPhone is less than 20. They can talk each other in the same office. No more than 20. They act like a startup company. Do you need a hierarchy? In the startup company or the startup organization? No. So, he spent a lot of time. Steve Jobs spent a lot of time to turn around the Apple as an most innovative company throughout exercising the building the startup culture. Then, ironically, Apple becomes one of the largest company with no hierarchy. There is very little hierarchy in Apple. How? Basing on this simple rule. So this is a startup company. You have only 6 or 7. Okay? So how you can make a best decision? Both? Vote? Just 7?
Brainstorm.
Brainstorming? But however, if somebody exercises the obligation to dissent, somebody against with that, your idea, how you can do that? If somebody do not agree with you, what can you do? Convince? How? Aha. Just to make a and then kick her out? No, you can't. Every single body is important. No. How?
You said they have a 3-hour meeting every week.
Yes.
About everything.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for final decision making.
Yes.
For everyone that they can produce condition of the
Okay, but if somebody disagree with that, terminally, argue, yeah. And then throughout the argument, what can you do? Combine, compromise. Okay. However, if your idea is best, you must.
I think, well, Steve Jobs will make the final decision.
No, he never make his own decision by himself. He always tried one thing with everybody. He never compromised that principle. How? How make it exercise? The idea must win, not hierarchy. He always do something. He never get back from this. Argument is one thing, but however, not just for argument. He wanted to do something. Pardon? Try what? Experiment? No. No. It's a human action. It's a human action. And then, okay, so in our tools, in our tools, what is the reason why we use a lot of we prepare the powerful communication? Powerful communication. What is the purpose of the powerful communication? Exactly. Persuade. Why he meet a lot of people within the Apple? Why he make this kind of the startup culture? And why he never get back from the good idea? How? He always talk with people to persuade. Okay? And he tries to persuading people as well as he is ready to be persuaded by a better idea. Persuasion. Powerful communication? Oh, yeah, making a good slide? Oh, that's nothing if you can persuade somebody with your great idea. Okay? So, in Apple, even though you are here, okay, and different from the big, large companies, okay, if you have a great idea, you don't need to worry about it, the hierarchy. You just speak out. And then that must win. Not this. Whatever, whoever. Your great idea can win in Apple. And then that is very similar to Google. Okay, Google. And that is different from the Apple. Apple has a very great leadership, something. That's a competitive advantage. Apple. But however, in Google, that's more democratic. That's more democratic. And there is a group of people. And then if you have a great idea and you can utilize that one day off, and then you can suggest anything, and then in the Google has a lot of the words, and then in the words, and there are a lot of that kinds of the whiteboard in the Google company, in Google, if you enter to the Google company, and there are a lot of the whiteboard in the Google company, and then somebody asks something. Okay, I have an idea of the unmanned Google bus. This is your idea, and then maybe you can elaborate the because purpose. What is the purpose of this? Okay, so make it fun. Okay, and then the plan is something. Okay, so maybe you can use that the one-sheet proposal something. Okay, and however, one day somebody comes, another guy comes, and then he or she elaborate that. Okay, so but however, the bus is not a good idea. Unmanned Google car in San Francisco. And how? I have a software. For neuro fuzzy logic. And the neuro fuzzy logic looks like this, and then that looks like this. Okay, and the reference is blah, blah, blah. And contact, R&D, Steve. Okay, and then somebody elaborate this. Neurofuzzy? No, that's outdated. We need the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence by using the Python. No, not Python. We'd better to use that another C++. I have artificial intelligence or the library in here something. Okay, good. And somebody else comes. Okay, for what? Okay, so let's make a project. And then within 1 year, develop the proto sample. So, in Google company, you can see a lot of this kind of the whiteboard. That encourages the participation of the everybody. That's the secret of the innovation in Apple and Google. Now, then here is a question. How about the Huawei? How about the Xiaomi? How about the Chinese companies? Apple? Yes. And how about the Huawei? Hierarchy? Okay, Samsung has a very strong hierarchy, but they are excellent. But Huawei is excellent. Okay. Competitive advantage is not universal. We call that a contingent competitive advantage. It depends. You don't need to replicate these kind of things. You cannot replicate. You must build your own competitive advantage by yourself. Nobody knows what is better. Apple, yeah, there is a good Steve Jobs. And that's the reason why they can do these kind of things. And the Google, they don't have a Steve Jobs, but they are excellent. And Huawei, yeah, they have no idea about, they don't have a Steve Jobs or the Google culture, but they are good. Innovation does not come from a certain one competitive advantage. No, it depends. That's contingent. You may be excellent in Tian environment. The Xiaomi is one that kind of case. So if we meet a storm, if a pig meet a storm, the pig can fly. Yeah, that's a Tian opportunity. Why not? Because China has a lot of opportunity. That depends. Only one problem is not replicating the competitive advantage. It's impossible, okay? But you must be able to build your own competitive advantage. That's the secret of successful innovation. Okay? So nowadays, the Apple is now trying to combine all the electronic devices, and they are now making the Apple iPhone 7 something. But who knows? Who knows? And actually, they are much more focusing on developing the wearable devices, iWatch, and that can be a next big thing. But who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so that's the chapter 1. Yeah, chapter 1, and then we learned about a lot of the different innovation models. Okay, and then we get more knowledge about how we can make an innovation, and that was the innovation model was evolved from a simple or the sequential stepwise something to a more simultaneous and then more disruptive. And however, innovation can achieved from competitive advantage. Usually that comes from human side. So simply, who make an innovation? People. Only people can make an innovation. Not money, not resource. Okay, throughout problem solving. Okay, good. It's almost over. Do you have any questions? Do you know that the pig can fly? And when a pig meet a storm, the pig can fly. The Xiaomi CEO said about that. Oh, really? The Xiaomi CEO. Xiaomi CEO. Yeah, a pig can fly when it when it take the meat or the take a storm. Hurricane, storm or something, hurricane. Typhoon. Yeah. Even a pig can fly. That can be this. Environment, business environment. That's happening in China now. You don't need to argue about that, the Huawei's, the hierarchies, or the Xiaomi's, the intangible something. No, don't argue about that. Just to focus on here. Sell your idea. Make your own great idea and sell it and persuade. That's the time. That's the secret of innovation. No, don't complain anything. That's the nature of the innovation. Nobody knows. That's okay. Okay, this is it. And then, if you have no questions, I will see you on Thursday. And then we will have an exam maybe next week. Let's see if I can cover the chapter 2 at next week. Okay. Then we will have an exam next week. If not, we will have an exam after next week. Okay, and thank you. We'll see you on Thursday.